Hey y'all, it's Blakely with Quarantine Cuisine. It's our first episode tonight, and tonight we're gonna be mixing up a gin quarantini and some homemade focaccia bread. So it's the perfect meal for summertime, even if summer is canceled. So let's continue with that. First off, we're gonna start with our gin martini, but does everyone have their Purell ready? All right, everyone give yourself a little squirt. Make sure we're nice and good for continuation, and then we're gonna start with a martini shaker. Put some ice in there, just a little bit to keep it chilled. We're gonna do 1.5 ounces of good gin, whatever you prefer. Throw it in, probably a little bit more for this time. And then we're gonna do about 1/2 ounce of vermouth, okay? So you're gonna put that in. We're gonna shake it up. Get it nice and cold. Now you can do this with vodka, you can do it with gin, or you could make something sweeter, an appletini or something like that, but tonight we're just gonna go with the basics, all right? And then of course, you have your choice to make it up, which is with an olive. You can do it dirty and add a little olive juice to it, or you could even go with a twist of lemon. So whatever you prefer, but now that we have our quarantinis ready to go, voila, shaken, not stirred, just the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so now let's move on. We're gonna make some focaccia bread. What I like to do is to make sure that my working surface is really clean, which I've already done that. We wanna kill any COVID-19 bacteria that could possibly be on your butcher block. So I've already thoroughly done that. I have my Purell done. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do 4 cups of flour, okay? I've already pre-measured everything just to kind of show you. 4 cups of flour into the mixing bowl. I'm sorry, I've already done it wrong. Just a minute. We're gonna actually do our lukewarm water first, and that's about 300 milliliters, or about 1 3/4 cups. All right. Then you're gonna take your yeast. That's gonna be like an active dry yeast, just a little packet of that, about 7 grams, or 1.5 teaspoons. You're gonna pour it in. Your yeast is just gonna kind of start to get mixed in with the water, bubble a little bit, okay? Next, it's really easy, Then you're just gonna throw in your flour, okay? And you wanna mix it up with a spoon first. Some people do it in a mixer or a bread maker. I do it with a spoon first because I just don't want my hands to get super icky. So at first I just mix it with a spoon to kind of get it dried up a little bit to start forming that dough. Okay. All right. And then we're going to add in some salt, just some nice flaky sea salt. Throw it in about 1.5 teaspoons. Mix it in. Okay, and then once we've got that kind of thoroughly mixed, we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Gonna need a sip of that martini. All right, so get it nice and mixed up, and then what we're gonna do, I have given my hands a thorough hand washing with Dial soap, of course, and then a Purell, of course. Now, we're gonna take our hands, we're gonna start mixing it up, making a little bread dough ball. All right, push it together in the bowl. Okay, and now I'm gonna wanna put it on my wood surface. Sometimes if it's a little too dry, you can add a little bit more warm water. Right now it seems to be okay. Simple as that. It's 4 ingredients. You get it into a little ball. I want you to really knead it. Make sure that everything gets nice and put together. It's nice to do it on a wood block. You can do it on granite or marble as well, but this makes it easy. And it does take a few minutes. So instead of you watching me do that, what you're gonna do is once you get it into a nice congealed ball of dough where it's not really lumpy, you've gotten all the dry parts of the flour, you know, put away, which I don't quite yet. It might take a few minutes to do that. So what I'm gonna do is show you, get into the ball when you get into that, and then you're gonna put it into some sort of dish, like an aluminum bowl, to rise, and put some plastic wrap over it until it doubles in size. So could take like an hour, hour and a half. You just put it in there, put some plastic wrap over it, put it in a cool, dry place, and let it rise. And then, this is what you're gonna get. So, we're going to get a pan. We're gonna put a little oil on it. And I'm just really a purist here. I just use my hands. Okay, and then you're gonna take it out, put it on this pan. Okay, the olive oil is really not necessary. It's for the bread. It's just to kind of give it a non-stick surface. We are gonna drizzle some more olive oil on it after we have everything put together. So get it into, I like a circle. That's how I learned. I learned this from my friend Angelo out in West Texas, and Diane. And Angelo is a Sicilian vegetarian guy, and he makes focaccia all the time. And he actually is from Italy by way of New Jersey and West Texas. So anyway, I learned from him. And I haven't made it in probably 8 or 9 years, so this has been really fun to do. All right, so you're gonna kind of get it all into a nice flat disc. It will rise again, that's the thing. So once you get all of your toppings on, you're gonna have to let it sit for about 30 minutes to double in size once again. Okay, so that's really fine. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and then what I have tonight is some tomatoes. Okay, and we can do slices of tomatoes. I did heirloom tomatoes and Campari tomatoes. And you put them in a bowl, sliced up. You slice up some garlic, put it in there with it. And I have too many tomatoes, but put the tomatoes in there with the garlic, and then add a little bit of salt, and that's it. Just the tomatoes, garlic, and the salt, okay? And that's gonna take some of the moisture out of those tomatoes. And then I've got some cherry tomatoes I'm gonna stick in there. Okay. And then of course the best part, you have to kind of dig in there, but put the garlic on. And that roasted garlic is going to be just so delicious on here. And get as much as you can on there. All right, and so I'm going to do that, and then I actually added some some yellow bell peppers, just because we had them in the fridge. And you know, during this quarantine, you're going to want to try and use up all the contents in your fridge. Just let them stretch as long as they can. So I found this in the drawer. I put it in a Ziploc bag. Didn't want to waste that yellow bell pepper during these times. So anyway, put that on there. And then the last of it would be a sprinkle of some fresh herbs. We had some rosemary in the garden. We had some thyme from a few weeks ago that was still good in the fridge. And you're just going to sprinkle that on the top for some fresh herb on the bread and the tomatoes. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to do just a little bit of this. I don't want to put my hands in there because they're wet. I'm going to do a little sprinkle of really good sea salt. I mean, regular salt's fine, but the sea salt's just like bigger and nicer flavors. And then we're going to do one last drizzle. Oh, that was not a drizzle. Sorry. Just a minute. Of olive oil. Okay. Now, take a sip of your martini. We're going to get a kitchen towel. We're going to cover that up and leave it until it pretty much doubles in size. It's just going to kind of swell. It's going to get a little bit bigger, taller. Okay, so we're going to leave that here. And like every good cooking show, we've already made one for you tonight. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. You're going to have a lovely, light focaccia bread. You've got your tomatoes, your peppers, your herbs, and your roasted garlic, of course. And we're going to serve this with some Allen Brothers steaks over here that my lovely husband is going to be grilling. So we can't wait to dig in, and we hope you've enjoyed quarantine cuisine. Tune in next time because we know you have nothing else the hell to do. So we'll be seeing you soon with possibly some risotto and a nice wine pairing for that. All right, love you all. Stay safe and healthy.
And actually,
Blakely, with quarantine cuisine, again, I did forget to tell you that you're going to need to have your oven at 425. You're going to bake it for about 25 to 30 minutes. And it will be ready to go. That's all it is. You do all the steps I showed you and then throw it in at 425 for about 30 minutes, all right? So enjoy. Hope you like it. Mwah.